Hey, hi everyone. This is Sai from LetsUpgrade. So let's talk about how to get your certificate. It's very simple. You will see two links in the description. Number one is the place where you have to go and mark your attendance. Marking your attendance tells us like, okay, you are a legit student who have attended this particular session. Link number two is your assignment. This is where your 90% of the priority is. You have to go and submit the assignment that is given to you in this particular session. Once you're done submitting that assignment, we will be evaluating that. We will send you an email. If you get the passing criteria, then only we will give you the certificate on a particular date that is mentioned again in the description. Please check these three things, and this is the way how you will get a certificate from Let's Upgrade. Number one, mark your attendance. Number two, just go ahead and upload your assignment. Check for the email that you have received it, yes or no. What is the feedback that you have received from your trainer? Number three, check on which date the certificates will be released. Thank you. Bye. All the best. Happy learning.
Hi all, so welcome to this 3 days boot camp on Node.js. So this particular boot camp has been designed in such a way that it will help you to not only write code using Node.js but also to help you to build production ready applications using Node.js by the end of these 3 days. Okay, so it is basically divided into 3 days as I told you. So it will help you to create your backend applications, right? So you might be knowing like the purpose of using Node.js is to write the server-side logic for your application. So if you are aware, many popular tech applications such as Netflix, Uber, then PayPal and LinkedIn, the backend architecture of all these applications are written using Node.js only. Okay, so as I told you, like it is divided into 3 days. This bootcamp is divided into 3 days. So on the first day, we'll be covering about the basics of Node.js and about the introduction of Node.js. Basically, what particularly Node.js is like, how it is a server-side runtime environment that is used for creating applications. Then secondly, what are the real-world use cases of it, such as like creating chat applications or live notifications or streaming services, all those things. Okay, then after that, I'll be helping you to like setting up Node.js on your own environment. So you might be either using Windows or Mac OS, any OS you might be using. So depending on that, you'll be able to set up Node.js on your devices. Okay. After that, we'll be discussing about what are modules in Node.js, and using modules how you can create your own servers, right? So there are certain built-in modules and also third-party modules which we like download using npm. So after that, we'll be discussing obviously about npm, which is the node package manager that helps you to download the packages. Okay, that would be all. After that, we'll be doing some practical exercises. Okay, so that practical exercise actually I'll be asking you guys to complete, but also I'll be guiding you on how to complete it. Okay, so yeah, that will be all for the first day of this bootcamp. So without going much into the theoretical part, let's directly get started. Okay, so I hope you guys are aware about JavaScript. Before jumping directly into Node.js, I hope you guys are aware about JavaScript. So if you are a little bit into a front-end development experience, you might be aware about JavaScript. So basically, Node.js is nothing but a JavaScript runtime environment. When I say JavaScript runtime environment, what does it mean? So it basically means that your JavaScript will be running on your will be running outside of your browser directly on your machine instead of running on your browser. Okay, so to explain it, so till now you might have seen that JavaScript runs on your browser only. When you create front-end applications, the JavaScript programming, like as you know that JavaScript is a programming language, but Node.js is not a programming language. Okay, Node.js is simply a runtime environment. So why a runtime environment? Because Node.js allows your JavaScript to run outside of your browser. Okay, not on your browser. So like right now what happens is JavaScript runs on your browser, but when you need to create backend applications using the same programming language, that is JavaScript, you need to run JavaScript outside your browser. So for that, Node.js was created. Okay, so you might be knowing that there is this Chrome's V8 engine using which JavaScript is run inside the browser, right? So similarly, we have the Node.js. So Node.js helps us to run JavaScript outside of your browser. Okay, so that is about what I was telling you about the introduction of Node.js and its basic concepts. Okay, so again, like you know that JavaScript is a synchronous and single threaded language, right? What Node.js does, like Node.js gives JavaScript the capacity of becoming asynchronous, but the thread remains same. The like it works like it runs on a single thread only, but it can spawn multiple processes, using which it can handle multiple operations at the same time. So that is why we say that it is like a non-blocking in IO architecture of Node.js. Okay, like it never blocks the code and keeps on executing the code no matter a particular operation is taking some time or not. Okay, so this is how and then we have the event loop in Node.js, which helps us to run Node.js asynchronously. Okay, so that is why all these things in together combined together makes JavaScript such fast, efficient and scalable language. Okay, so that is all about the introduction. So now let's quickly jump into like installing Node.js. Okay, so Node.js download. So you can simply go to Google and search for download Node.js. So the first link you get, you can just open it. Okay, so here depending on your OS, it will automatically detect your OS and give you the option to install. Okay, so if you are running on Mac, as my system is Mac, I am getting this Mac OS installer package. Okay, otherwise you can select your OS from this drop down, as you can see. Okay, so if you are running on a Windows, you can sorry, this is the one. So yeah, you can download the MSI installer from here. Okay, so this is how you'll be able to download it. So after downloading, you just have to simply run the setup for Node.js. That is very straightforward. I already have it done, so I'm not downloading it again. Okay, so once you are done with the download and installation of Node.js, the second thing that you need to do is you need to check if Node.js is successfully installed on your system or not. Okay, so for that you can simply open command prompt on your Windows or terminal on your Mac machines and simply write node hyphen v version. Okay, so you'll get the version of Node.js that is installed. Okay, so fine. So along with Node.js, npm also gets installed, so you can check npm hyphen v. So you'll get the version of npm as well. So you need to verify that Node.js is properly installed on your system or not using this particular command, node space minus v. Okay, so it will give you the versions. Okay, so once it is installed and you have verified that the installation is successful, after that we can start writing code using JavaScript in our machines, not on our browsers. Okay, so for that you can make use of any IDE. So if you are from a coding background, I hope so, then you might be aware of what an IDE is. If not, you should be able to like download again an IDE using Google. So you can simply download Visual Studio Code. That is what I prefer. Otherwise, it's your choice. You can use any IDE of your choice. So you can simply download Visual Studio Code. Okay, so it's a very uh, advantage of using Visual Studio Code is like it is very easy to use and it gives a lot of extensions that helps you in coding. Okay, so yeah, simply I'll open Visual Studio Code. So it is there for me, and here I'll be creating a new file. So it gives me an option to select a language. So what I after on this screen, you can go here and go to new file. Okay, so I just want to select a file type or file name. Okay, so Java. Okay, so create a new file. You can click on create new file, and on the desktop I'll call it index. So since it's a JavaScript file, you can give .js at the end. Okay, create file. Okay, so my index.js file is ready over here. Okay, so now we can start writing the very basic code of your JavaScript over here. So if you are aware of JavaScript, we have console.log, so that will be starting with. Okay, so console.log, so it helps you to print anything on the console. Okay, so if you are running it on a browser, you have the browser console. If you are running on your machine, you will have the console. I'll show you where you can see it. Okay, so hello and welcome to this bootcamp on Node.js. Okay, that's it. Semicolon is optional. If you want, you can put it, otherwise that's fine. I just saved this file. Okay, so now to run this particular JavaScript file, what we can do, we can open the terminal. So new terminal. Okay, so I'll navigate to desktop since I have saved this file on my desktop, right? So I'll go to desktop. Okay, so I'm on my desktop. Now to run it, simple command that I need to give is node space followed by the file name. So this will run this JavaScript file on my machine instead of the browser. Okay, so index.js. Okay, so you see, hello and welcome to this bootcamp on Node.js. So it is visible, right? So congratulations, you were successfully able to write your first code using JavaScript and able to run it on your machine using Node.js. Okay, so now I hope you guys understood why Node.js is called a JavaScript runtime environment. Again, to reiterate, it helps to Node.js is JavaScript runtime environment, as it helps to run Node.js outside of browser. Outside, 1 minute. Directly on your machine. Okay, so that is why Node.js is called JavaScript runtime environment, as it allows you to run your JavaScript code outside of your browser directly on your machine. Okay, so I hope this thing is clear. So once I'll wait for you guys to complete this simple code. After that, we'll start about modules. Okay, so you guys can take your time and just set it up and do it, and then we'll start. Okay, so once you have completed this, we'll now move ahead. We'll discuss about modules in Node.js. Okay, so what are modules in Node.js? So modules are some things which has been provided by Node.js itself. Those are built-in things that has been provided by Node.js. So that helps you to create your own server. So let's say there is a HTTP module. Okay, so basically HTTP module, what it helps you to create your own server. Similarly, there is a file system module. So file system module helps your JavaScript code to interact with the files on your machine. Okay, so either it can read them, write them, edit them, all those things we can do using the FS module or the file system module. So you'll understand as we dive directly into it. Okay, so we'll be using the simplest module that Java, Node.js provide, that is the file HTTP module. Okay, so again I'll be explaining you about the require keyword that we have. Okay, so first for cost HTTP. Okay, so this is simple declaration of a variable or a constant in JavaScript. I hope this is not an issue to any one of you. So this is how we do it. And then require. So require will tell JavaScript to require this particular module, HTTP module. So this will require it. Okay, so require means it is kind of asking Node.js to give me this particular module. Okay, I just want it, I want to use it. Okay, so now the next thing that we'll do is we'll create a simple server using HTTP. So const server is equal to HTTP dot create server. So HTTP dot create server, and here we'll be just writing our request and response, request response, and followed by, so this is a simple arrow function. So if you guys are aware of JavaScript, this is how we create functions using JavaScript. Okay, so HTTP dot create server, and here we'll be sending the simple response. Okay, so response dot send hello from Node.js server. Okay, and then response dot end. Okay, that's it. Okay, now how to start this particular server? So we have the simple command server dot listen. So we have to listen on a particular port. So I'll be telling what this port is. Okay, and then a simple callback function, and here we'll be simply writing console.log server started successfully at port 3000. Okay, that's it. Okay, so our code is ready to create a simple server of your own. Okay, so now let's quickly run it and see how it works. Okay, so node index.js. Okay, so server started successfully at port 3000. So now let's check how it works. So as I told you, this will be running on port 3000. So this is the port that I'm typing over here. Okay, so I see something is wrong. Okay, it gave us some issue. So it gives. Okay, sorry, my bad. It should not be res.send. It should be res.write. Actually, we are using simple HTTP, right? So it has this command res.write. So whatever we need to show on our browser, we need to write it over here. So now let's try again. Okay, so you see hello from Node.js server. So this is the response that we got whenever we tried to hit localhost 3000. Okay, so we were successfully able to create our own Node.js server. Okay, so this will take in some request and it will give some response. Okay, so basically you can consider it as the as your first API. Okay, so API is nothing but your application programming interface, right? Which like a REST API, so which actually gives you some data on your request. So it is giving some data, so like it gave you this particular data. Okay, so this can be anything. So here you got some simple data like text data. Similarly you can send JSON data also over here. Then similarly you can like serve an entire HTML page also over here on this request. Okay, so this is how creation of a server using built-in module HTTP works. Okay, so I hope you guys now understood what HTTP is. So HTTP is nothing but your built-in module of Node.js. Okay, so it helps you to create a server, and this is how we listen for this server on port 3000, and whatever request we want, we can like whatever response we want, we can send it over here like this, right? Okay, so I hope this is clear. So now let's move on ahead to so I hope this module thing is clear, like what is a built-in module in Node.js. Okay, so the next thing that we have is as I told you about require. So how we used require. Okay, so now I'll be discussing about npm. Okay, so npm, if you want to know more about npm, you can directly search for npm. Okay, so if you search for npm, you get this particular link, npm home. So this is nothing but your node package manager. So actually, like, the community of javascript and node.js is very large. Okay, so like there are many developers contributing to javascript and node.js, so they keep on building things and they keep on uploading their projects to npm. So using npm, you can take advantages of the applications built by other developers. Not, they are not direct applications, but they are like utility tools that they provide. So using that, you can like simply download those npm packages and use them in your own code. Okay, so how it works, I'll quickly tell you. Let's suppose here, like, we have this chalk. Chalk is one of the npm package that we are going to download. Okay, so what is the like purpose of using chalk? It is used to style the console output. So this particular output that we have on our console, right? So to style it, we have this particular package which is known as chalk. So how do we download it? Okay, so let's quickly also search for like npm chalk, so that we get to know how do we use it as well. So npm chalk. Okay, so if you see import, okay, then console.log chalk.blue, like this. Okay, so this is how we use it. So let's quickly install it. So npm install chalk, simple command. I'll copy it. I'll go over here. I'll create another instance, cd desktop, npm install chalk. Yeah, so this is how we install packages using npm. Simple command, npm install followed by the package name. Npm install followed by the package name. Okay, I hope you guys got this. It is simple. So let's wait for it to get installed. Okay, so it's installed. Okay, so you say, like, you see this this changed one packet and audited this things and all these things. It means that it is installed successfully. Okay, so now let's use it. So for that, what we can do is simple const chalk is equal to require chalk. Okay, so now console.log, as we had that, right? 1 minute. Chalk dot 1 minute. Let me just cut this first. Chalk dot let's see how they have used it. Chalk dot blue dot hello world. Let's try it. not dot, we directly have that. Okay, so now let's see. uh, it says chalk.blue is not a function. Okay, let's see what we are doing wrong. Okay, as per the documentation, it seems for Chalk latest version, that is 5.6.2, we don't have the permission to import it using, like call it using require. We need to import it using Chalk. But I remember using version 4 point something, we were able to use require keyword. Okay, so let me do one thing. Let me install Chalk version 4. Okay, so npm install chalk at the rate 4. Okay, so if you run this command na, it will install version 4 point something of chalk. Okay, so that is what I'm going to install over here. Okay, so it's installed. Okay, so now the code is same only. So now let's try, it should work. Let's see. Okay, so now it works. Hello and welcome. So see, you are able to see this in blue color. Okay, so using require, you are able to import chalk, and then you are able to call its functions. So dot bold dot red. Okay, so now let's try this if it works or not. So now let's stop our server and rerun. Okay, so you see now it's coming in bold red color. So using our chalk npm package, we are able to style the console outputs on our terminal or command prompt. Okay, so I hope this is clear to you guys. Okay, so to reiterate quickly, what we did is, like, we installed chalk, and actually, like, there is one thing with the latest version of chalk, that is 5.6.2, that it does not allow us to import, use the require keyword. Okay, so if we want to use chalk with the latest version, we need to make use of the import keyword. Okay, so like this import. Okay, but if we need to use like the require keyword, we need to install the older version of chalk, that is chalk at the rate 4, like 4 point something version might have been there, right? So that was supporting this require keyword, so that we did, and then we tried to run it. Okay, so now, like, if you want to use the latest version only, so I'll do what, I'll install the latest version. Okay, so let's wait for it to get installed. Okay, it's installed. So now let's replace this with the import version. So import chalk from chalk. So now we can try this code. Okay, so if it works or not. So I'll control C, run it again. Okay, so it gave us an error. Okay, actually, like, two things we cannot combine together, like we cannot require and import both the things together. So let me just comment it out and then try. And also I'll just comment this all out and then try. Okay, so we got hello and welcome to this bootcamp on Node.js. So this is again red in color, right? But I think this is fine. So we got our output right as expected in blue, in red color. Now let's try some other color, blue. Works or not, just to verify. Okay, so we got this blue colored output. Okay, so I hope this is clear about the built-in modules, such as http and the package manager, like using node package manager. We installed this third party module, which, like, package, which is known as chalk. So what it does, it helps you to style your like console outputs. Okay, so this also we have covered. Now the next thing that we have is, as I explained you about what is npm and its role in Node.js, and then installing using npm package manager. So npm install command also I have told you. So build a program that uses chalk to log a styled custom message that we have done. Stretch goal, add a functionality to accept user input. Okay, so we'll be covering this thing now. So how to accept user input using Node.js. So what I'm thinking to use is your like query parameters using the URL that we'll be sending. Okay, so we are done with the chalk. So what I'll do, I'll undo this thing. I'll remove this chalk thing because I don't want to use chalk anymore for now. So I'll remove this console.log as well. Okay, I'll save this. So our server is already there. Okay, so the next thing that I want to do is accept the input from the user. Okay, so how we can do that? So I'll tell you. So first of all, I want to I want to check what is coming in my request. So request dot URL. Okay, I'll log this. Okay, so now let's quickly start our server and check what is coming in our request.url. Okay, so now if I refresh this, okay, so here we should get, okay, so we got this slash, right? So slash fav icon dot icode, like ignore this, but basically we got slash because there are no endpoints after this. Let's try something after this, slash search. Okay, let's see what we got now. Okay, so we got slash search over here, right? So similarly, slash search question mark id is equal to 2, let's say. So let's see what we got. Okay, so we got search question mark id is equal to 2. Okay, so there is again a built-in like a module which is known as url. So const url, we are going to require it, require url. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to parse this now. So what I'll do is url dot parse and see now. So it will break the url properly. So now let's restart our server and see how it is breaking our url properly or not. Okay, so let's refresh this. So okay, so it broke the url properly. I don't know how many times it came. Okay, no problem, I'll see. Let me try again. Okay, let's refresh. Okay, so we got url search id equal to 2, query id equal to 2. Okay, so what I can do is const query equal to url dot parse, okay, dot query. So now let's try, and we can simply console dot log query. Okay, now let's restart our server and check. So now let's refresh it. Okay, so you see server start, after that we got id is equal to 2. So we got the input from the user, right? Like this is basically the input from the user, like whatever we'll be writing over here. Let's say I give this id, so we'll be getting that particular id on the on our console, right? So basically what we did, like this is your user only, the user will be giving the inputs here, and it will be reached directly to your server. So your server will be access to like able to access the inputs given by the user. So this is how we are able to do it. So again we made use of another inbuilt module, that is the url module. So what url module does that, like first you saw that what request.url was bringing, it was bringing the complete url, right? It was bringing the complete url in this form, slash where it went, yeah, like slash search id is equal to 2. Okay, but using the url module, what we did, we parsed the url in proper object format, like it gave us an object. So this was the object it gave. Yeah, so this is the complete url object it gave us. So this is the complete object. Okay, so if you know about the key value pair in an object, right. Okay, so this is the complete object it gave us, right? So the key here that we want is the 1 minute, where it was, yeah, so this one. So the key that we want is query. So what I did is query is equal to url dot parse dot query. So this is the particular key that I'm interested in. So I got the id is equal to 2, and that is what I like printed here. Okay, the query that we got from the user, so that I was able to print over here. Similarly, if we have multiple parameters, let's say, and name is equal to Akshay. Okay, so now if I want to like this, you got right, 1 minute. So let me see. Actually 1 minute, let me just try to bifurcate this as well. So console.log url.parse request.url and try to break it up. So now if I'll restart my server and refresh this page, so I'll get over here is what is happening. I'm getting query as null. Okay, Okay, so here I'm getting query as ID and name, Akshay. Okay, so okay, and that's fine. So now let's try to break this up. Let me think what we can do to break it up. Query ID. So if I just try to print request dot and query is coming as null. Why? So okay, no, the query is coming as this. ID is equal to this and name is equal to Akshay. So now let's see if we can get separately both these things, ID as well as name. So let me see. So basically, actually, this URL dot parse, in order to make it work fine, we need to pass another parameter over here, that is true. So then it will give us our correct value. So let me remove this, and then query dot id. So now let's see if it gives our correct id if we run it. So now let's quickly refresh it, like restart the server, and let's try refreshing. Okay, so we got the id perfectly. So similarly, let's try to print the name. So console.log query.name. Okay, so now let's try it. Okay, so let's refresh. Okay, so yeah, we got our id as well as name. Okay, so after this undefined you are seeing now, this is happening because it is also looking for that, like if you remember earlier we were getting two urls, like right, one slash fav icon and a simple search one. So what we can do is we can simply put a condition over here. If you are request.url rel uh, is not equal to slash fav icon. Okay, then only do all this thing. Okay, so now let's see what effect does this have on our code. So let's refresh. Okay, I still see both are coming, like undefined also is coming. uh, let's also see what is happening behind the scenes. So console.log request.url, so that we can debug and fix this issue. So if I refresh, uh, okay, so fav icon, okay, so it's fav icons.ico. Okay, okay, now let's try it. Should work this time. Okay, it works this time. We got only our this one, not the undefined. Okay, so now I'll remove this console.log. Okay, now let's restart our server. Okay, so now let's refresh. Okay, so now we didn't get that undefined, right? So we got only our id and name over here. Okay, so this is this particular is a deprecation warning. Since this url.parse is like deprecated now, we don't use it. Like a new thing has been come instead of url.parse, so that is why it is giving us a warning, but it's no need to worry about. Okay, so like this is how we were able to take user inputs in our Node.js application. Okay, in our server side we were able to take inputs from the user. So this is nothing but something that is going from the front end to our back end, right? So the back end is able to access those particular data elements. So yeah, that's it for this particular day one session for Node.js bootcamp. So I hope you guys were able to understand the basics of Node.js, how to set it up, how to simply create your own server using Node.js, and how to access the data on your server side, also how to process that data, and also like how to like use third party npm packages such as chalk, using which we were able to style our console outputs that we had. Okay, so I hope you got basic understanding about npm as well, how to install packages using npm and all those things. So this particular session was all about briefing you about how things work on the backend side in a backend application using Node.js and JavaScript as the programming language. So if you see all the code that we wrote was using JavaScript only. So Node.js is just a runtime environment that is helping you to run this JavaScript outside of your browser on your machine directly, right? So I hope I was able to make these things clear to you guys. So in the next session, we'll be covering about. Let's quickly see what we have in there for our next session. So we will be covering about the event-driven architecture that we have in Node.js. Then we'll be working with the FS module. So like in today's session, we worked with the HTTP module, URL module, and similarly the chalk third-party npm package. So in the next session, we'll be working with the file system module. So file system is very important. It helps us to like create new files, read files that is present on our system using Node.js. Okay. So then HTTP module we have already covered. So what we'll do is I'll cover about the Express, like how do we use Express and how do we create a server using Express and Node.js. That actually helps us a lot. It like gives us like it helps us to write minimal code and do the maximum functionality, right? So that is what we'll be covering. And then we'll be covering routing. So routing in Node.js is very important. So that will be covering how to add a basic routing to handle different URLs such as /home, /about, and all those things, and sending different responses based on the different routes. Okay, then yeah, that's it. That will be covering in our next session. So I hope you guys enjoyed the session on Node.js today, and I hope to see you guys in the next session. So thank you so much for watching, and see you soon again. Bye.